Okay, this is the feminist Justin Trudeau, who's done a lot of harm to my country. But him being a feminist didn't save him from divorce, everyone. Him being a good boy and destroying the country for his man-hating wife did not protect him from divorce, did it? Right? Male feminists get zero out of being feminist. So we'll get in. This is Martin Decoder. I'm sad to say that Martin Decoder, even though he does a pretty good video, he's a trad con, and I'll call him out at the end of it. Now, let's get in to the disgusting feminism we have to deal with in my country. Here we are. Goodbye. There's Martin himself. Hello.
And their inner characteristics, such as talent.
And heard you speaking about a cabinet that was equal men and women. Today, it is gender balanced, 17 women, 17 men.
Well, since it's gender balanced, that means he's kicked out men who are worthy of the position to fill these do-nothings. He'll even admit it.
It was clearly intentional. Why did you do it?
Well, first of all, before you can get to a cabinet that is gender balanced, it took a number of years of work recruiting great women and convincing them to run for politics, which isn't.
He had to convince these women to run for politics in order for them to have enough women to oust these men out. Do you see how that works? The women weren't interested. That's what went on here. So men lose out just so this guy can virtue signal to everyone that he hates men as much as the average person.
Easy as it is. So
Politicians are always in.
That's right, exactly. We'll get to the parts where he discusses his feminism, okay? If you listen closely, he's going to give a not so subtle jab at the dangerousness of single men. He's going to say a bunch of single men are dangerous. Listen. Oh, sorry. Get this up again.
On issues where you actually think about the gender implications of it. Take a pipeline, for example. You couldn't imagine that putting a gender lens on building a pipeline would actually be meaningful, except if you say, okay, you're building an infrastructure that's going through remote and rural areas. You're going to be descending a whole bunch of mostly male construction workers on it. There are going to be societal impacts in the small communities where they're.
So having a mostly male population descend on a population, a small population, is bad. Right? So he's demonizing single men. So he's demonizing men, period. There's something wrong with men.
Can you make sure, as you move forward on this decision, that you're building in social supports and a counter to some of the problems that might come?
He doesn't mention what the problems are, right? Exactly. Because he doesn't want to just come out and show his bigotry towards his fellow man. This is a disgusting human being we see here. Male feminists are the lowest of the low, right? So these politicians depend on men to build their infrastructure, and they're demonizing men as they're doing it, as they're making these sacrifices. These single men, they're all alone. They're not around their families or their girlfriends. They sacrifice that time to bribe that woman into their life to do what? To get demonized for being single. Right? Screw this guy. Here he comes right out, admits he's a feminist, and how he's going to indoctrinate his sons, right?
And my story group are women.
Are you a feminist?
Yes, absolutely. I'm a feminist because a feminist is someone who believes men and women should be equal and who believes that there's a lot more work to do to get there.
The term equal is used deceptively by a lot of politicians and celebrities today, because what...
Yeah, that's right. That's true. Get past the quoter. I'm just sorry about that. I want to make sure.
I, at one point, said to Sophie, my wife, that it was really important to me that we raise our daughter, Ella Grace, to be a feminist. And she said, yes. And your sons? Because I have...
Exactly. This man-hater has sons, both of them. Both these man-haters have sons, and she's making sure These boys know their place, that they're beneath their sister.
2 sons as well. And I said, oh yeah, I guess I need to raise them to be feminists as well.
Oh yeah. So in other words, he just expressed how he doesn't really want his sons to be third-class citizens, but he's willing to do it. This is a typical father, everyone. Don't brag up fatherhood too much, because this is what it really is from what I see. Fathers throwing their sons under the bus, destroying them actually, to pander to a woman who, guess what, who ended up divorcing him anyway, right? Right.
You can have a world in which our daughters believe they can do anything, but in which our sons also believe that our daughters can do and be anything. And
so wow, the sons really get something. So not only do the daughters believe they can do anything, but the sons also believe their daughters can do anything. Not that their sons can believe they can do anything, right? Well, they can't, can they? If they're getting ousted from Parliament so that their undeserving women can take their spots, right?
And we'll be allies to them. That's really how we have to raise our families.
You talk to your sons about that?
I do, absolutely. And they're 11 and 4, so there's still work to be done, but yeah.
Do you see how insidious that is? They're still 11 and 4, and there's still work to be done. Let me tell you something, guys. Children are true human beings. Little girls don't have hypergamy, and little boys have solidarity with one another. So what he's saying is, I can't wait till puberty, where this naturally happens anyway. I got to take these little boys while they're still human and make sure they are not human. They got to make sure they know during the human phase of their life that they are unworthy. This guy is destroying his sons. I got to think of the right word. Destroying their well-being, their mental well-being. He's damaging their mental health. That's what this guy is doing. Okay. Now, we won't go any further here because I want to point out how this loser get his housewife leech, and she's divorcing him now, right? Let's hear it.
This morning, one of the most recognized couples on the world stage turning the page on their storybook relationship after 18 years of marriage.
If they're separating, it wasn't very storybook, was it?
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and wife Sophie Gregoire Trudeau writing on Instagram, after many meaningful and difficult conversations, we have made the decision to separate.
By the way, she's the one who wants to separate. You can tell when they talk about how much this guy go gaga over her. She's the one who's tired of him. She cared about his status, not him. And now she's done her ride. She's gained her fame. She's getting bored of him. So she's dumping him. Okay, that's what's gone on here. All you guys who talk about women going for the top 20% or whatever, stop it. This guy wasn't respected by his wife any more than Joe Blow on the street.
The couple have been a glamorous and prominent globe-trotting duo. Their split, unusual for a prominent political family, now drawing headlines. Gregoire Trudeau is...
It's not unusual at all. It happens all the time. It's happening more and more now.
He's a former TV personality and has become a powerful voice for gender equality.
Okay, she's a feminist man-hater, yes. That's what that translates into.
The two married in 2005 and share 3 children together. The pair appearing in the page...
I feel very sorry for his sons. They're in for a rough life.
...of Vogue, recounting how they first met as school children and eventually reconnected at a charity event decades later.
Yeah, at a charity event, when she saw that he was going places. Right. What a sucker.
Soon after, Trudeau says he told her, "I'm 31 years old and I've been waiting for you for 31 years.
Exactly. He's the one who went gaga over her. Right. And he's willing to build up his career to have this woman in his life, and she doesn't give a shit about him.
Even after ascending to the top of Canada's political ladder, the Prime Minister has not shied away from celebrating their love. Writing on
Yeah, he's the one who's celebrating their love, not her.
social media several months ago, "There's no one I'd rather have by my side."
She was an asset and she was a political partner.
Hey, building up all that status, Trudeau, was kind of a waste of time, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
An interview on Canadian television in 2014.
There are times when she hates my job and she hates me for loving my job.
In a recent
Do
appearance
you
on
hear that, guys? This is very, very standard. She glommed on this guy for his status, right? Because for his status, where is he? And then she blames him for being away from the home all the time. This is standard female nature. This happens in every relationship where a woman is latched onto a man for his status. She then blames him for her choices.
My job.
In a recent appearance on Meghan Markle's podcast, Gregoire Trudeau highlighted challenges that modern women and mothers face.
Which are none. This is a man-hater who produced two sons who are going to have their minds destroyed. Okay? And you are a loser, a typical married loser. Okay, I'm going to end this off calling out Martin Decoder because he does one of the worst things, most insulting things to men ever. He tries to make the false equivalency. This is a men's issue, and he tries to deny this is a men's issue. Okay? Now, let's hear this.
Trudeau has to act like we haven't already had equality of opportunity for decades.
He uses the old quality of opportunity. This is a sleight of hand. This is about men getting ousted from jobs for women. That's what's going on. Men losing their jobs.
In order to justify his political priorities, he has to keep the victim narrative going.
Political priorities is feminism. See, these guys do it all the time. They don't mention what's going on.
This way, when he knows that certain groups of people are going to be negatively affected by one
Certain groups of people, men, say it, buddy. There's only one group of people, men.
of his decisions, let's say financially affected, he has the perfect excuse, in his mind that is, because it allows him to say, we're doing this for the sake of equality, or even better, if you're against this, you're against equality. People like Trudeau monopolize certain terms before these terms can be used against them, precisely because they know they're doing the opposite of what they say. Because Trudeau thinks of people as groups and not as individuals.
No. This has nothing to do with groups. It's because he's a male feminist. He attacks men. Do you see how these guys like Martin Decoder always have to change the terms around to avoid what's actually going on?
He doesn't trust them to make their own decisions. He's there to convince them, whatever he really means by that. I'm not sure I want to know. And when necessary, invent laws to get his will. On a surface level, this type of rhetoric affects men first and foremost.
Not on a surface level. All the way through. It's 100%. You see, this is why I'm calling out Decoder. He's telling a lie right now.
However, this isn't a men's issue at all, and it's not about feeling sorry for men.
Wrong. It's 100% a men's issue, Martin. And yes, it is about men's victimhood, and men should be able to say so. This is why Martin's a tradcon. Martin, the MRM has been ineffectual because it's been filled with guys like you. For the last 50 years, they've been begging women to be nice to them. This is what Martin Decoder is doing right now. He's begging women to be nice.
This rhetoric affects everyone equally, so to speak.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't affect everyone equally. He's doing the false equivalency fallacy, right? He's trying to say women are affected negatively. How, Decoder? How?
Firstly, it can be damaging to the demographic Trudeau claims to advocate for.
No. This is completely insulting to men, Decoder. Completely insulting to men. Women gaining everything they want does not damage them, right? Matter of fact, where are we? I want to show you something. There, Alex Catt. This rhetoric affects everyone. True, it gives women exactly what they demand and benefits them. The rhetoric only harms and discriminates against men. Thank you, Alex Catt. You said that, look at Baphomet. You said that just to exclude men's issues. That's right. Exactly. This is a man's issue, decoder. And I'm not taking your insult laying down. You told a bold-faced lie. There's no other way to sugarcoat this. So you are a man's enemy is Trudeau himself. Okay. Now I'm going to end off saying, let's see if we can't get Trudeau up here. Trudeau, you are a typical male feminist loser. You sold your sons out and your country out to feminists, to a hate movement. And now you're getting discarded by your hateful wife. You climbed the ladder of success to put this embarrassing. You embarrassed your father, Pierre Trudeau. Pierre Trudeau was the best prime minister we ever had and always put the country first. Thank God he is dead so he doesn't see the incredible embarrassment and joke that his son turned out to be. Okay, we'll end it off here.